Hello, I am Michelle Tanner. I am the Superintendent of the Deaf here at the Utah Schools for the Deaf and the Blind. And we often get questions about the best ways to accommodate our deaf and hard of hearing students in the classrooms throughout the state. So we've produced this video for you to help you understand the best tips and tricks for addressing their needs from the students themselves. So whether you're a new teacher or an experienced teacher working with deaf and hard of hearing students, we hope this refresher will be a benefit to you.
Tip number 1, make a note of the USDB contact information. Utah Schools for the Deaf and the Blind is a resource for any child with hearing loss and their families. Whether they're deaf or hard of hearing, have microtia, no matter where they go to school. Even though their school may be their main provider, USDB has additional resources and exciting opportunities for the students.
Can someone tell me one of the civil liberties that we have?
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, exactly. Cam? Freedom of religion. Alex, was that yours?
For teachers who haven't had hard of hearing students, I feel like they should get to know them well and just be like, okay, if they're hard of hearing, just help them with sitting in the front. I really like sitting in the front because it helps me see better and then hear better.
Sabrina says there are several tips teachers can utilize to make learning so much better, from placement in the front row to using the classroom technology, the personal microphones, or FM systems. Amplifying the sound helps hard of hearing students in addition to the rest of the class. It makes things easier on the teacher's vocal cords as well. And when it comes to showing YouTube films or videos in the classroom, closed captions are a lifeline for these kids.
When we have to watch a video in class, we always have to make sure there's closed captions, which is always nice for me.
How are things going with your classes?
They're going good.
Liam wears a cochlear implant and hearing aids. He and other students tell us background noise is a major challenge. Anytime a teacher can close a window, ask students to avoid side conversations, or shut the door to the hall, it makes a huge difference to block out noise.
Sometimes when there's a lot of background noises during the classroom, sometimes they restate the questions, or most of the time they just either shut off the unnecessary noises, like in the hallway they just close the door. That's usually most of the times that happening.
I do only do about 75 to 80%, like I said, about hard of hearing kids. I do manage to fill in the blanks of what I missed, and that makes it a little bit easier. But then I also have an ASL interpreter to help me out.
Eliza uses listening and spoken language skills to hear. She also has the ASL interpreter with her in the classroom.
My advice for a teacher who will be having a hard of hearing student in that class for the first time, would just be ask what you can do to help them. Straight up, don't be ignoring them.
Many teachers may not be aware, but often a student can have a problem with their hearing device, or a battery can die. And suddenly, the student is dramatically more deaf. Teachers can really make a difference when that occurs.
When my teachers know that I have a problem with my hearing aids, they will ask the students to be a little bit more quiet or try to solve the problem with something else, making the classroom quiet or trying to help me with the assignment, where maybe one of the teachers will just sit by me and show me how to do the assignment.
A lot of times a student with a hearing loss doesn't want to draw attention to themselves because they're already getting kids asking them, why do you have, what's on your ears? Why do you have to wear those, and that kind of thing. And so they just want to make themselves as unnoticeable as possible. So it's important to remember that even with hearing aids and cochlear implants, a student will only get maybe 80 to 90, at most 90% of the information. And it could be even less than that, depending on the sounds that are going on in the classroom, like the heating, air conditioning vents. There could be a playground outside the windows, there could be noise in the hallway. You want to make sure that you have the student's attention, and if they're looking away or if they kind of have a blank look on their face, you'll know that they're probably not understanding, that they have kind of zoned out at that point. So it's good to maintain eye contact with them, to check, to make sure that they're with you, and occasionally ask them a question or say, did you understand what page number I told everyone to turn to? Or you can help by writing it on the board, that kind of thing.
These amazing and hardworking students say if you follow these tips and check in on deaf or hard of hearing students on a regular basis, everyone benefits. Your own student may have a new or different tip that could help them in the classroom. In the end, goals are met, learners appreciate their teachers, and the most important mission of all is accomplished. The successful effort lifts students to graduation and beyond.